The president giving Iran 10 days to make a deal or threatening military action. Joining us now live to discuss the situation in Iran is Brandon Weichert. He's senior national security editor at 1945.com, as well as author of The Shadow War, Iran's Quest for Supremacy. Brandon, always good to see you. We both thought President Trump would strike Iran shortly after that Maduro capture. Are you surprised nothing happened, considering all of the casualties of those protesters?
Well, I think that he is going to go in, and I think that this could be very complicating for his presidency, especially going into the midterms. But I am surprised that, he didn't do something. I mean, I was told on January 15th he was wanting to go in, and he was talked out of it by the Turks and the Arabs. 3 weeks ago, he wanted to go in, and then he was talked out of it by the Navy because they said, we need one more carrier. Let's get the Ford in there. But now the Ford is coming in. It's in the Mediterranean now. It'll be on station as early as Sunday afternoon. I think that when Trump says 10 days, I think this could be a 48-hour warning because Trump doesn't ever give you the exact timeline. This is sort of his shtick. So I think they're going in now regardless. And I think that this will be this will make or break his presidency, I think.
Wow, the stakes are that high. And as you, of course, point out, with Midnight Hammer, he had given that 10-day warning. You saw it coming a mile away. But we both, again, thought that maybe he would have already gone in. So it's interesting. Can you share a little bit more about the context of why he's waited? You said both international partners who are key to this Gaza reconstruction effort, as well as the own military saying, hey, we should wait. Iran clearly much higher capacity than what Maduro had. So give us a little more context on why he's been pausing.
Yeah, well, the first thing was in January 15th, the Saudis were the big breaking point. Mohammed bin Salman said, hey, if you guys go in, I will not use our air defense systems to shoot down the inevitable missile barrage from Iran that will be targeting U.S. bases in the region and, of course, Israel itself, which is a huge complicating factor. Then again, a few weeks later, they had the situation where Trump wanted to go in again, but the Navy was saying, with one carrier that's a tempting target for those Iranian anti-ship ballistic missiles. The Chinese are using their satellites to range and target that aircraft carrier for Iran. It is a high probability that we're going to lose that carrier. Let's bring in a secondary asset, the Ford, which is the most advanced carrier in the world. It's the largest carrier in the world. It's $13 billion. They're going to nestle it off the coast of Israel, and they're going to use the carrier, I think, for primarily air defense missions. So basically, once the carrier is there, they're going to start with the Abraham Lincoln launching strikes against Iran's targets regime. Iran will retaliate with their missiles against Israel, and the USS Ford will be in the Mediterranean with their planes ready to shoot those missiles down because Trump can't depend on the Arabs to shoot those missiles down. Although Saudi Arabia did say recently that they are now willing to participate.
Now, you had also warned when we discussed this that Iran may have layers of kill switches or sort of what to do when all is lost, like an existential threat kind of, on your way out, you sort of, I don't want to use the analogy I was going to use, but in all seriousness, what does that look like, and how do you defend against that?
Yeah, so what's going to happen probably is it'll be a joint Israeli. In fact, I think the Israelis might actually be used like last year to strike first. Then they're going to tell the Americans, hey, we couldn't hit these targets. And then the Americans are going to come in and they're going to try to saturate the area. But the Iranians have sort of disaggregated their capabilities, so it's going to be hard to hit in one fell swoop. Whatever isn't destroyed, the Iranians will then retaliate with hypersonic weapons, missile barrages. Those will target the U.S. bases in the area. They will target Israel. Israel's going to receive significant damage, even with all the air defense capabilities. And then also, if the Iranians are not totally knocked out in the first blow, which I don't think they will be, they will probably blockade, mine, and try to stop the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. And at that point, you're talking skyrocketing oil prices, at minimum $80 to $90 a barrel. I was told by a commodities trader 2 days ago that I know in Chicago that, hey, we're anticipating $130 to $150 barrel. oil. So this is where it's going, because the regime understands this is no longer targeting military sites only like last year. This is targeting the regime. So they are going to fight as if it's for their life, because it is.
Now, I want to take us to the ground now in Iran. We have, our sister company has a Farsi edition. We have Iranian colleagues. They tell us that over the last 2 years, there's been a flip and that the Iranian people support Israel and even Netanyahu. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sure there's a lot. You have to understand, Iran is a very divided society. There's many different ethnicities and ideologies. It isn't all just Shiite, Persian Islamists. So I am sure there are large numbers of people who not only support Israel, but want to have closer ties with America and the West. But the question that I've always asked and never gotten a satisfactory answer is it a plurality of people? Or are they people who are primarily upset with the regime because of the economic situation? That's why they're protesting. And we haven't really gotten a sufficient answer. But to be clear, there is absolutely a large contingent of people in Iran who like the West and like Israel. I don't know if these protests are going to have the ability to overthrow the government, because Iran's security services are so proficient at targeting leaders of these movements and taking them out before they can rally like a Nelson Mandela was able to do.
Brandon Weichert, always appreciate your analysis. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, sir.